So hindi po totoo na channel ni AMCARA po yun dahil frequency po yun ni ABS-CBN, Mr. Chairman.
You're under oath, Mr. Katigbak. Pag sinabi mong block time yon, magkakaroon po kayo ng problema. Pinaiikot-ikutan po ninyo kami. Alam po namin lahat ito, Mr. Katigbak.
By the way, si Mr. Karandang doesn't want to come in. Pinatawagan po namin sa COMSEC namin, ayaw niya po magsalita. Mukhang natatakot po sa ABS-CBN si Mr. Karandang.
Just a clarification, Mr. Chair. For what purpose is the invitation?
To utilize AMCARA as a Yusuf Rock. Kasi yun po ang ating impression. Is that satisfactory, Atty. Zarate? Unang-una, bago ko magsimula, Mr. Chairman, I would like to apologize for an earlier incident. Na ako po may sinusulat na note nung naka-flag ceremony tayo. And as usual, the ABS-CBN people are the ones playing it up now on social media, but I will forgive them. Sa akin po, I wrote the note, hindi ko excuse to, because something went into my mind for the questions I will ask tonight. Kaya
Kayo po ay humihingi ng paumanhin, Congressman.
Yes. Opo, ako ay humihingi ng dispensa sa ating mga kababayan. Sa kanilang income tax return, year-ended 2019, is this the new income tax return? Ito ba yung bago? Year-ended 2019?
Yeah, we filed po nung June 15 yung income tax return ng 2019.
So yung mag-donate ho kayo sa foundation o sa charity, yan po ay deductible expense ng inyong corporation. Tama ho yun?
Tama po.
So madaling salita, hindi ho totoong pusong-puso lang yan. Yan po ay may business sense na nakakatulong rin yan sa inyong kumpanya pag kayo ho ay nagdo-donate ng pera sa mga foundation.
I don't know if I'll put it that way, sir.
Kaya dito kasi, deductible eh. Binabawas nyo po sa income tax return na chargeable sa inyo, Schedule 4, Ordinary Allowable Itemized Deductions. Nakalagay po rito, charitable contributions, 99,339,218 pesos.
Technically po, donations under the revenue code is a deductible expense po. It's the
Kaya nga, ang sinasabi ko, pag kayo ay nagdo-donate, hindi ibig sabihin, buong puso yung binibigay. Binabawi nyo rin yan para mabawas po sa buwis na binabayaran
Ay,
nyo.
hindi ko naman po masasabing ganun kasi buong puso
Kaya yun ho, ang
namin
tingin ko
binibigay.
Yun ho, nakikita ko. Kung talagang buong puso yan, hindi nyo nakiklaim yan, babayaran nyo na lang yung buwis nyo na walang bawas sa charitable contributions. Yun ho, ang tingin ko.
Meron po kasing tax rules po on donation na sinusunod lamang po. So, an expense po of the corporate, it benefits about 30% if you may say because that's the tax rate.
Sige po.
Yes, Mr. Lopez.
Sir, I think on our donations, I think the tax credit is not the motivation for making those donations, but it is also not allowed. It is allowed, sorry.
Bale, ito ay isang incidental benefit. Pag kayo nagkakawang gawa, pwede hong ibawas yan sa buwis na yung binabayaran.
Yes, Your Honor.
Itong Big Dipper, Mr. Lopez, you were the president of Big Dipper before, or am I correct?
No, the president was our colleague, Mr. Valduesa, Ron Valduesa, who passed away a couple of months ago.
I'm sorry to hear that. Ang Big Dipper po ay itinatag ng ABS-CBN para ho ang bagay-naisip po natin na PESA, export zone. Di ba ho? Yun ang unang iniisip natin.
Yes, Mr.
Mr. Tan, baka gusto nyo sagutin.
It was PESA registered, but that's not the primary or the only motivation for having Big Dipper, Your Honor.
Pero export zone nga. Pag sinabi natin export zone, ay iniisip natin export. Tama ho yun?
I think the word is it's an eco-zone IT enterprise.
IT zone, okay. Nagbigay sila ng incentive para magtayo ang negosyo na IT-related sa... At ang nangyari ho dito, yung ELJ building, Eugenio Lopez Jr. building, ang naging opisina ng Big Dipper. Tama ho yun?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Kailan ho yung building ng ELJ?
It was started in 1997, completed in 2001, registered as an IT building in 2003.
Ano ho ang benefit ng building, ng inyong pag-aari ng building pag ito ay ginawang eco-zone?
Wala po siyang tax benefit, pero ang maganda lang po doon ay makakapagkuha kami ng tenant na PESA registered IT enterprise.
Ang ELJ building po ay pag-aari ba ho ng Lopez Inc., pag-aari ng ABS-CBN? Sino ho may-ari ng ELJ building?
Ito po ay pag-aari ng ABS-CBN Corporation.
Ang Big Dipper po ay kumikita ng 2.679 billion or 2.6 billion a year. Yung ba ho ang tamang figura dito?
In terms of revenues, that's correct.
Ilang taon na hong kumikita ng ganito kalaki ang Big Dipper, Mr. Tan? From 2009 to the present, magkano na ho kinikita ng Big Dipper?
To your question,
Since 2016 po, it was generating this level of revenues.
Bago mag-2016, ano ho ang revenue ng Big Dipper?
it's about 1.7 billion.
So malaki pa rin. Zero tax kayo ng panahon na yun, di ba?
No, Your Honor, we were paying 5% on gross income by 2015.
Noong 2010, magkano binabayad yung tax?
It was zero basically.
Magkano ang kita nyo ng 2010?
In terms of revenues, 989 million,
2011,
841 million,
2012,
846 million.
madaling salita, mula 2010 hanggang 2019, kumita ng mga 15 billion ang Big Dipper. Tama ho yun?
Well, those are the revenues. That's a top line. Meron hong gastos yun, Your Honor.
Mamaya na yung gastos. Yun ang kita.
The numbers we
Sino ho nagbabayad ng kitang yan? Sino ho ang inyong customer na nagbabayad sa Big Dipper ng pera? 15 billion. Sino ho nagbabayad nun?
ultimately, the people who consume our content, for example, overseas, as I said, if I can give an example.
Yung
Your
kontrata
Honor,
mismo, sino ho nagpapatrabaho sa inyo sa Big Dipper? Sino ho nagbabayad sa Big Dipper na diretso? Sino ba nag-kontrata sa inyo na i-encode nyo, i-digitize nyo yung mga content ng ABS-CBN?
the customers,
ABS-CBN Global.
that's one of the companies, yes, but
Ano
they
pa
would
yung isa?
not be
Ano pa
able
yung isa?
to.
Dalawang kumpanya lang yan, di ba?
Yeah, Your Honor, I need to clarify a point because they would not be able to generate the revenues to pay Big Dipper if the content isn't being watched by Filipinos abroad. So for
Hindi, alam ko
example,
ho yun, alam ko yun. Huwag nyo na ipaliwanag, tinatanong ko lang kung sino nagbabayad.
the direct transactor is, as you mentioned, ABS-CBN Global Hungary.
ABS-CBN Global Hungary. Yan po ay isang paper corporation na tinatag sa Hungary. May opisina ba ho kayo sa Hungary?
It's not a paper corporation, Your Honor.
Ano, Shell Corporation.
It's not a shell corporation. It has business substance, Your Honor.
Okay. Sino ho ang officers ng ABS-CBN Global?
Global Hungary. There are 4 managing directors.
Sino ho ito?
We have Rafael Lopez, Edgardo Garcia, Olivia de Jesus, and there's a gentleman with a foreign name. Give me 1 second, Your Honor.
In other words, Mr. Tan, itong 15 billion na transaction is from ABS-CBN to ABS-CBN. Yung isa lang Global Holdings, yung isa ho, Big Dipper.
Your Honor, these transactions are
Hindi,
done at
teka,
arm's length.
tinatanong lang kita eh. Yes or no lang yun, di ba? Ito yung transaction na to, binabayaran ng ABS-CBN Global, Hungary, binayaran niya for the past 10 years ng 15 billion ang ABS-CBN, ang Big Dipper Corporation. Tama ho yun?
Yes, Your Honor, but it would be misleading for me to stop there because we have to explain how the revenues are generated. If we simply say...
I know how it's generated kasi yung generation nyo, kaya kayo may digital content, ginagawa nyo para madali yung madala sa mga Pilipino sa abroad yung inyong mga programa. Di ba? Tama naman yun?
Could you repeat that? I'm sorry, Your Honor. Could you repeat that?
Ang kitang ito, kumikita kayo ng pera kasi dito, yung inyong ginagawa sa Big Dipper, ginagawa nyong digital yung inyong mga programa ng araw para ito'y madaling ipalabas sa ibang bansa kung saan may mga Pilipino na gustong bumili ng inyong programa.
It's not just madali. It's actually a requirement, both regulatory in some cases, and for it to be played on mobile phones or other formats, kailangan na kailangan po yung serbisyo ng Big Dipper. It's not just to make it pretty. So there are some requirements. For example, I think in Australia you need closed caption. For other countries you need certain minimum standards.
Pero ang ano nga dito, ang sistema, yung kayo mismo, ang sariling korporasyon, yung nag-hire sa sariling korporasyon. Transactions between two sister corporations. Tama ho yun?
Your Honor, all these transactions are backed by transfer
Di ba?
pricing
Yes,
studies.
ito lang.
It's not.
Di ba? Sister at sister lang yan. Magkapatid lang yan. Yun lang tinatanong ko. This is a transaction between one ABS corporation to the other ABS corporation for 15 billion pesos for the past 10 years.
Yes, Your Honor, and it's not illegal or unusual.
Wala naman ako sinasabing illegal or unusual, ah. May sinabi ba ako?
Wala po, Your Honor.
Oh, ba't mo sinasabing it's not illegal or unusual?
Just to clarify, Your Honor, because it may be, some people might think that there's something.
Although it sounds that way, I'm not alluding anything, pero ganun ang tunog sa Pilipino. Kung tatanungin, bakit yung kalimang bulsa, yun naman ang kalimang bulsa, nililipat sa kalimang bulsa?
Your Honor, these transactions, as I mentioned, are at market rates, at market prices, and backed by transfer pricing studies.
So
The
walang
fact that
transfer
we have-
pricing.
Yeah.
Ini-anticipate nyo na yung tanong ko, kung mahal yung rate nyo, sinasabi nyo competitive kayo sa buong mundo. Sa rate.
Yeah. Actually, Your Honor, I was going to mention that on the questioning of dealing with related parties, we establish our companies, as I mentioned earlier, we make decisions based on many factors. Now, of course, we look at market access, proximity to customer, the IP strength of IP laws, and of course, taxes, Your Honor. It is a duty of management to look for ways to be
Para makatipid sa
efficient and
taxes.
competitive and
Para makatipid kayo sa taxes. Siyempre, ginagawa nyo lahat, di ba? You're doing everything para makatipid kayo sa taxes. Tama o hindi?
Your Honor, as I mentioned, taxes are one consideration. It's not the primordial consideration, but
Hindi.
as senior management, we
Masyado
need-
ka naman defensive. Yun lang tinatanong ko eh. Mr. Carag, you're hired by ABS-CBN because you're a tax lawyer. Am I correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Yun, di ba? Sagot na yun. May katabi kang tax lawyer, siyempre, yung advice ng tax lawyer, mahalaga sa inyo.
Yes, Your Honor, but of course we admit that these are related party transactions, Your Honor.
Hindi kita tinatanong.
No, I'm just
Sinasabi ko
clarifying,
lang,
Your
kaya
Honor.
may tax lawyer kayo, you get the best advice.
Yeah.
Your Honor, our tax counsel are here to provide clarification on tax laws or any tax issues that might be asked by the floor.
Sige. Mr. Tan, you've been, how many years ka na ba sa ABS-CBN bago ka naging group chief financial officer?
I've been here about 7 years, Your Honor.
Saan ka nanggaling?
I used to work for Vista Land and Lifescapes, Your Honor.
Nanggaling ka pa sa abroad?
I studied abroad, Your Honor, yes.
Ilang taong ka tumira sa ibang bansa?
Maybe 10, 12,
Anong bansa yun? Amerika?
the UK and the US.
Pero Filipino citizen kayo?
Yes, Your Honor.
Dual.
100%.
Dual
100% Filipino, Your Honor.
100% Filipino.
Yes.
Hindi ka 100% Filipino, 100% American. Hindi po.
No, hindi po, Your Honor.
Ngayon, kaya tinanong ko kayo, Mr. Tan, kasi kayo hong gumagawa ng strategy pagdating po sa inyong grupo, sa finances. Tama ho yun, Mr. Tan?
We formulate our strategy with consultation of
Example, last year, 2019, you decided to divest, or ABS-CBN decided to divest itself from AMCARA. Tama ho yun?
That was a decision that was taken by the board of directors, Your Honor.
Ano ang pumasok sa isip nyo, ba't nyo kailangan mag-divest sa AMCARA?
Your Honor, may I ask that our corporate secretary be recognized?
Attorney Kiason?
Ano?
Attorney Kiason ba ang corporate secretary? Sino?
So, sorry, Your Honor. I don't think we have any resource people available to answer any questions on AMCARA.
Bakit
I
ba?
think that
Bakit?
was
Di ba, kayo'y group financial officer for the past 7 years. You decided to divest. Ba't hindi nyo masagot ngayon? Ba't tayo nyo sagutin? tungkol sa AMCARA?
Di ba? Just as
Baka maging mali yung sagot niyo, wala akong rehearsal.
correction po, Your Honor. I have been CFO for about 2 months. I took the place of the recently, our CFO who recently passed away. Your Honor, may I request that our Chief Executive Officer, Carlo Katigbak, be recognized to address the question?
Mr. Katigbak, good evening.
Good evening po, Your Honor. Your Honor, if you allow me first, before I answer your question, can I just answer your earlier statement? I got a message from all our cameramen insisting that none of them were responsible po for taking the video you referred to earlier. And I also checked po with our news team, and they have all said that we have not run that video on any of our platforms po.
Okay, I apologize.
Just to assure you po.
Ang gusto ko sagutin mo, yung AMCARA.
Okay
Please
po.
answer the AMCARA question.
Okay po. We decided to divest ourselves from AMCARA, Mr. Chair, because we didn't feel there was any value to owning the 49%. The relationship between ABS-CBN and AMCARA was a block time relationship, and as a block timer, there's no point in having a 49% stake in the company you're block timing from.
So you're sticking to your story na 49% lang talaga ang inyong ownership ng AMCARA?
It has always been 49%, Mr. Chair.
Until now?
No more. We sold it already in January 2019, if I remember correctly.
Itong AMCARA was holding office in ABS-CBN compound for 20 years, am I correct?
I don't have that information, Mr. Chair, but I think yes.
And the officers of AMCARA now are your lawyers. Di ba?
I'm not aware who the officers of AMCARA are today, Mr. Chair.
Well, they come from Santos, Parungaw, Aquino, and Santos Law Office. Dalawang nakalagay doon na abogado ng ABS-CBN, ang naging officer ng AMCARA. Kaya ako may duda pa rin kung talaga nag-divest kayo sa AMCARA.
We have divested po, Mr. Chair.
Pero you considered AMCARA your subsidiary even with 49% stake?
I'm not sure what the correct term is. I know they're an affiliate company at the time that we had the 49% stake po.
Congressman Boying?
Yes.
Yes, just for information, the AMCARA submitted, ABS-CBN submitted the block time agreement. The agreement was only for this year, 2020.
2020 lang. Ano yung, dati ba black time na kayo sa AMCARA?
Mr. Chair, there are block time agreements for the prior years. They can be submitted to the committee.
How much were you paying AMCARA for your black time?
I don't have the exact number, Mr. Chair. It should be there on the block time agreement that was submitted to...
As I recall, Channel 23, AMCARA, lahat ng programming nyo, ABS-CBN. So basically, you used the whole AMCARA setup for 24 years. Until now, kayo pa rin ang gumagamit.
Until now, I know the block time agreement covers 20 or 21 hours a day po.
21 hours a day for the past 25 years.
I'm only referring to the recent years po, Mr. Chair, the ones that I've seen. No?
Ako, alam ko yung mga black time, alam ko sa black time, parang Itbulaga, 2 oras, 3 oras, araw-araw, Lunes hanggang Biyernes, tapos yun na. Pero yung 25-year black time arrangement na 21 hours a day, di ba usufruct yun?
A block time agreement, Mr. Chair, is a purchase of airtime.
Kaya nga, purchase of airtime, but ang ginawa nyo sa AMCARA, kayo ang may hawak na lahat ng saleable airtime ng AMCARA.
The majority of the saleable airtime, yes, Mr. Chair. You're right.
Yung majority, what do you mean by majority?
The block time agreement covers po 21 hours a day.
From what time to what time yon, Mr. Katigbak?
I'm not familiar with the operational...
Tanungin nyo lang, let's have a break muna. Tanungin nyo, alamin natin kung magkano inyong, kung anong oras hanggang anong oras sa inyong block time agreement with AMCARA.
Sige po, let me find out.
Suspension, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Chairman.
Hearing resumed. Congressman Remulla.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Meron po ulit hawak na block time agreement na pinirmahan ni Aldrin Serrado at Erwin Malimban at sa AMCARA si Jose Antonio Veloso. Tama ko yan?
Tama po.
Ang inyong contracted airtime 21 hours a day Sunday to Saturday or every day of the year. Ang term niya, 1 year, commencing January 2020 with automatic renewal unless terminated by either party subject to at least 60 days prior written notice. Tama ho yun?
Tama po.
Magkano ho yung airtime ito?
Ano po yung, ano po?
Sorry, Mr. Katigbak.
Congressman Defensor.
Gusto ko lang pong mag-interject kasi po, gusto ko lang pong ibigay yung impormasyon sa inyo na yung prangkisa natin kay AMCARA is only analog, wala po yung digital. Number 1. And number 2, kaya po yung nakita nyo yung order ng NTC, may select areas lang po sila. So Mr. Chairman, I do not know how that can be a block time agreement on a digitalized program when they do not have an approved digital programming, Mr. Chairman.
Digital programming ang AMCARA, Mr. Katigbak.
Mr. Chair, AMCARA has a provisional authority granted by the NTC allowing it to use Channel 43 po for a digital broadcast. And I think we have, if I'm not mistaken, we have submitted already the provisional authority of Channel 43 to the committee. And if not, then I can direct our people to submit it.
Yes, Mr. Katigbak, with your indulgence, Mr. Chairman, sila po pwedeng pumasok sa digital. Pero hindi po yung papasok sa TV Plus. Kasi po yung TV Plus is getting the frequency of ABS-CBN. So pumapasok si AMCARA as digital doon. Pero siya mismo, wala namang AMCARA box eh. So I do not know what the purpose of this contract would be.
Ito ba yung inyong backup plan para kung kayo ho ay hindi makakuha ng prangkisa ay makaka-ere pa rin kayo? Ito AMCARA po ang inyong ginamit na backup plan.
It was just another way to reach more areas po. We used AMCARA so we could reach more areas on TV+.
Gano'ng karami ba ho ang transmitter ng AMCARA?
Yan ang hindi ko po alam, Mr. Chair. I'm sorry, we're not prepared with the AMCARA questions.
For 24 years. Gano'ng karami ho ang transmitter ng AMCARA?
Hindi ko po alam, Mr. Chair. I'm sorry, we didn't come prepared to answer these technical questions. No, I can...
Kasi ano ho ito, para sa kaalaman ng lahat, kumakalat po ngayon yung propaganda ng ABS-CBN na ang AMCARA ay black timer daw sila sa AMCARA at ang black time agreement daw ang kanilang ginagamit para makapag-broadcast sila sa TV+. Hindi ba tama ho yun, Mr. Katigbak? Yun po lumalabas sa balita?
Yung broadcaster po is AMCARA kasi sila po yung may-ari ng frequency. We're just buying the airtime po from them.
Ano ho ang mga programs ng pinapatakbo ng AMCARA on its own?
Wala po.
Wala. So they're in the business of renting out their time. Yun lang ho negosyo ng AMCARA?
Mr. Chairman, Congressman Boying.
Yes, Congressman Defensor.
Ulit po, paglilinaw lang po. Yung TV Plus, signal po ni ABS-CBN. Doon po pumapasok yung digital programs. So, wala pong AMCARA Plus. Wala pong AMCARA Box. So, signal po ng ABS-CBN ang lumalabas doon po sa TV Plus. So, hindi po totoo na channel ni AMCARA po yun dahil frequency po yun ni ABS-CBN, Mr. Chairman.
Ang ng NTC dati, di ba, Mr. Katigbak, ang AMCARA at ABS-CBN, sister companies. Hanggang ngayon, sister company pa rin daw.
Hindi po. It's, we are not, we have sold AMCARA, the 49% stake in AMCARA last January 2019.
Yung pumirma ho ng kontrata nyo, kapatid ho ng former congressman eh. Abogado ito from Ateneo Law 1986. Ito po kabatch ko dati sa Ateneo eh. Si Atty. Veloso. Hindi naman ho siya, wala naman siya sa negosyo ng ng broadcasting. Paano ko siya napasok dito?
Sir, decision po yan ni, I think, Mr. Carandang and his family.
By the way, si Mr. Karandang doesn't want to come in. Pinatawagan po namin sa COMSEC namin, ayaw niya ho magsalita. Mukhang natatakot po sa ABS-CBN si Mr. Karandang.
I am not aware, Mr. Chair. I haven't spoken to Mr. Carandang.
Chair,
Sa Congressman Marcoleta.
may I interject please?
Sige po.
Mr. Katigbak, before ABS-CBN divested its 49% share or ownership in AMCARA in January last year, AMCARA was reported in your consolidated financial statement because it is more than 20%, hindi ba?
Opo.
Okay. During that time, nung hindi pa kayo nag-divest, meron kayong block time agreement. Ito nga yung Studio 23. Wag po tayong makukonfuse. Yung pong AMCARA 53, ito po yung digital channel na ginamit nyo na pinahagaan ko ng NTC. Ang pinag-uusapan natin dito is Studio 23. Ito po yung Sports in Action. Analog po ito. Tama po. Kayo po ang gumagamit ng frequency ng AMCARA sa kabila ng siya may sariling prangkisa. Ito po yung medyo weird na sitwasyon dito eh. Kung ikukumpara natin ang isang tunay na block time, kamukha po nung ginagamit yung example kanina, yung Tape Incorporated, yan po yung nagpo-produce ng Itbulaga. Pero yung Tape Incorporated, wala siyang prangkisa. Kayo po meron kayong prangkisa. Ang AMCARA merong prangkisa. Kayo ang nagmamanage nun, ang facilities ninyo, pati engineers ninyo, sa inyo. Ang katibayan nga po nito, pati yung logo, okay, hindi po logo ng AMCARA. Kayo ang gumagamit nun. Pag dinistinguish natin sa tape, ang tape po, wala siyang sariling logo. Ang ginagamit niya, GMA logo. Hindi po black time yun eh. Yung suprak yun. You're under oath, Mr. Katigbak. Pag sinabi mong black time yun, magkakaroon po kayo ng problema. Paano magiging black time yun? Kayo po ang may-ari ng 49%. You're using the facilities, your own facilities, your engineers, your own logo, despite the fact that AMCARA has its own frequency. Why do you call that black time? You may not answer.
As far as I understand, Mr. Chair, it's a block time because it is a purchase of the airtime for the use of ABS-CBN po.
Okay, ganito na lang.
It's not, we're not the only company po that has done this.
But AMCARA exclusive po kayo. AMCARA exclusively ABS-CBN ang may control ng oras. Yung 21 hours a day, any hour that you choose. Tama ho yun?
21 hours a day po. I think the hours we use are 6 a.m. I think to about 12 midnight po.
Wala nga nakalagay sa black time agreement kung anong oras eh. Nasa 21 hours a day. Tama.
Yes po. Pero in actual practice, I think the actual operation was 6 a.m. to 12 midnight. I've been informed po.
Congressman Remulla, papaalala ko lang po na may natitira ka na lang na 2 minuto. Pwede ka na pong magsimulang magtapos ng iyong pagtatanong.
Salamat po. Mr. Chairman, ang serbit sa atin ng ABS-CBN na dokumento, hiningi natin, ay pwede hong punuin ng 2 filing cabinet. Meron lang ho tayo 8 oras para i-discuss ito. At sana naman maintindihan nyo na mahirap rin ho kumuha ng sagot sa mga tao dito.
May I get the 15 seconds left for Congressman Remulla?
Yes, Congressman Marcoleta, kung papayagan po kayo ni Congressman Remulla.
Anything for my esteemed colleague,
Congressman Marcoleta.
Thank you. Last question to Mr. Carlo Caparas. Kung totoo pong talagang pinatitibayan nyo na mayroong black time agreement, hindi po ba, I'm sorry, Mr.
Carlo
Katigbak, I'm very sorry. Hindi po ba totoo na ang rights po ng AMCARA ay nilipat na po sa Multimedia and Productions Company as of March 12, 2019 per NTC case number 2019-041. Paano po magkakaroon ng black time? Nilipat na po ang kanyang rights sa Asian Multimedia and Production Company, March 12, 2019. So paano po yan? Papag-aari din po ninyo yun, tama po ba? Palipat-lipat po tayo, kaya mula po nung kauna-unang araw na tayo nagkakaharap dito, pinaiikot-ikutan po ninyo kami. Alam po namin lahat ito, Mr. Katigbak. Kaya kung minsan po, pinagin yung sinasabi, kung meron po kaming pagkakamali, patawarin na lang po. Paano po kami magkakaroon ng initiative na magpatawad naman? Hanggang ngayon, puro lang po kayo pagtatakip. Sasabihin nyo, merong black time. Ito po, NTC case number 2019-041. As of March 12, 2019, nilipat na po sa Asian Multimedia and Production Company. Paano po magkakaroon ng black time, Mr. Katigbak?
Sa pagkakaalam ko po, hindi pa in-approve ang transfer po ng NTC, Mr. Chair. Baka maybe the NTC can answer with certainty, but as far as I know, that application for a transfer was never approved.
Padadala ko po sa inyo yung mga records, Mr. Katigbak, para matapos lang tayo. Na-transfer na po talaga, March 12, 2019. Mr. Chair, salamat po.
Maraming salamat, Congressman Marcoleta.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to
Yes,
inquire from
Congressman
our
Remulla.
Committee Secretary Portia Silang about the remarks of Mr. Karandang when they were invited to come over to testify today. Pwede ba we put that on the record?
Chairman.
Sa AMCARA, Mr. Chairman, ang request ko sana si Attorney Parungaw, Anthony Parungaw, si Attorney Veloso, yung pumirma ng kontrata, Attorney Veloso, and Mr. Karandang, para ho magkaalaman tayo.
Mr. Chair, just
Yes, Congressman Zarate.
just a clarification, Mr. Chair. For what purpose is the invitation? I understand na yung pinag-uusapan ngayon is about taxes already. No? Natapos na natin yung usapin ng TV Plus, KBO, etc. At yung paggamit ng Channel 43. No? So if the purpose is in line with what we are discussing now, so may we be clarified on that?
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, Congressman Remulla.
Mr. Chairman, ang AMCARA po ang ginagawang lifeline ngayon ng ABS-CBN na claim nila sila ay black timer and they are suspected to be lying under oath to this committee. Yan po ang impression natin sapagkat napakatamis po ng terms ng kanilang black time agreement na hindi ho basta-basta nangyayari. And this is a violation of the franchise of AMCARA that we're talking about. And it is an affront to Congress that ABS-CBN did not even seek Congress's permission, the House's permission, or even the Senate's permission to utilize AMCARA as a usufruct. Kasi yun po ang ating impression. Is that satisfactory, Atty. Zarate?
To the Honorable Zarate, kasi po naalala nyo, nag-personal and collective privilege po ako. Pagkatapos po, sabi nila, sabi ng NTC, hihinto na ho. Ngayon po, sinasabi ho, lalabas pa rin at tuloy-tuloy pa rin. Kaya po medyo nagkaroon pa ng kaunting komplikasyon. So, para lang makaroon na yung issue, Mr. Chairman, parang yun na lang po yung request natin. Not anymore doon sa discussion ng issue, but doon na po sa question of personal collective privilege, Honorable Zarate.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. That's precisely kina-clarify natin dahil lahat naman tayo dito ay may kanya-kanyang conclusion of facts and law. No? But that is not, hindi naman yan ang desisyon ng komite. Meron tayong kanya-kanyang interpretasyon sa dokumento, sa kontrata. No? Kaya kina-clarify natin yan dahil nga, for example, even as we speak now, yung cease and desist order na inimplementa ng NTC is already implemented. No? It's been implemented. And in fact, parang wala na sa ere yung SkyDirect and even the TV Plus. No? So, gusto nating linawin yan. Dahil pagka hindi ho natin nailinaw yan, meron ho tayong itinakda ng mga agenda. No? Ay hanggang kailan ho tayo matatapos dito?
Mr. Chairman, can we
Congressman
extend
Zarate.
our
Congressman
time?
Remulla,
Can we
suspended.
extend?